Hello, my beautiful people. Welcome to Stellar Tarot Alchemy channel. This is not the official beginning of the webinar. It's going to start in just a minute or two, but here I'm just placing a little correction that you are going to see in the webinar. So this part is the correction part of one of little segments where I show this card. This is the Hermit card, and you can see the Hermit is going, he's descending. So what I mentioned in the webinar is that the Virgo needs to descend into the underworld to go through the sufferings, to be tested by the sufferings, so he can empathize, find the solution, and fix the problems. Of course, we cannot fix everybody. Sometimes we have to surrender. But I said that Virgos can also escape to addictions. And this is where I stopped because I was really tired. But I didn't mean only addictions. And I don't mean that every Virgo is going to go through addictions. No, the Virgo rules the marginalized and victimized people, the people that are in lack, the people that are suffering. And because Virgo sees imbalances, not finds, sees imbalances and wants to improve them. They're somebody with a very emphasized Virgo placement can either witness suffering in terms of maybe witnessing addictions in the family or falling into addiction behavior themselves, or they can witness a lack of resources, of lack of any kind that creates life imbalance and causes suffering. They can suffer from health ailments because Virgo rules the gut, the intestines, and they are very sensitive to different food nutrients. And if they are not keeping their health routine and what they put in their mouth to digest, because Virgo digests information and it rules the gut, so the gut digests the food and sorts the nutrients out. They can be very sensitive, so if they are not paying attention to their gut health, they can have really big health issues. And the ultimate goal of that is, they're great at diagnostics because they research everything to find solutions to their problems so they can improve their health. They can be excellent nutritionists, diagnostics. And ultimately, the experience serves so they can distribute that knowledge and teach others how to heal because they needed to learn how to heal themselves. And this is what I wanted to add. I mentioned only addictions, but I don't think that every Virgo is prone to addictions. I just mentioned that as one part of the suffering they need to go through to learn how to heal. But there are many, many ways of lack. And I'm not saying that all Virgos are going to suffer. I don't mean that. But they are ruling the people who are suffering because they see the imbalances and they want to find ways of how to fix and improve. And they usually do. And it's a lengthy process. And this is what they're designed to do, to fix things, right? And this was a little correction. Now go and enjoy the webinar and have patience for me because it was 2 a.m. in the morning. I had crazy, crazy day. And words came a little bit slow to me because I'm not a native English speaker. Enjoy the webinar. Hello, beautiful souls, and welcome to Stellar Tarot Alchemy channel. I'm so excited to be here with you today. Today is a special day. Welcome to the Virgo Solar Eclipse webinar, where I'm teaching how to weave astrological weather into tarot cards, especially with the Virgo Solar New Moon Eclipse. We are going to go through the cards of the Major Arcana, the Hermit card, and the Minor Arcana, 8, 9, and 10 of Pentacles. If this sounds like a mystery to you, don't worry, it's gonna get clearer later on. So we have a huge important astro weather, the solar new moon eclipse in Virgo. So what is a new eclipse? What is a new moon eclipse? Well, the solar eclipse is only happening during a new moon. A new moon is when sun and the moon appear together in the sky. We say they're in conjunction, they're together. But an eclipse, solar eclipse, is when the moon comes directly in between the earth and the sun, blocking the sun's light and casting a shadow onto earth. And we have a partial solar eclipse in Virgo. So, before we continue, I just wanted to tell you that this is a perfect time to gather, to learn, to grow. It is a time for cleansing, healing, a deep inner work. And this is what we are going to do. You know, if you are a seasonal card reader, if you know nothing about tarot, you are welcome. You don't need to know, you will learn. So if you are a seasonal tarot reader or you are using cards, grab a pack of cards. If you're not, just grab a piece of paper and journal, because we are going to go later on through certain prompts and how you can use the card and do some journaling, use the wisdom of the cards to work with this eclipse energy. This is what I'm gonna teach. And by doing that, I'm gonna add this astrological layer of correspondences that are connected to the tarot cards mentioned. So the Hermit, 8, 9, and 10 of Pentacles. So today we'll explore how the energy of Virgo flows through those cards and how to use tarot and astrology together to understand tarot cards better, but also to work with the energies of the eclipses. So we are going to mention briefly on the eclipse, then we are going to show how tarot and astrology are bridging together and how the Virgo correspondences are shining through the Hermit card, and how the Virgo archetypes shows in the minor arcana cards. Then we are going to go a little bit deeper into each individual card, astrological correspondences, and then we are going to go into the journal prompts for this Virgo eclipse. So you can have some practical tools while working with the cards. So if you don't have the card, don't worry. You know, if you want to journal, you just find on the internet Nine of Pentacles, you know, just screenshot it or download the image and just watch the image on your desktop and see what is invoking in you, or when you are following the journal prompts that we are going to have at the end, you can take a look at the cards online and just see what comes up for you. Okay, so eclipses. What are the eclipses? Eclipses are cosmic reset button. They're like cosmic catalysts. They shake things up, spotlight what has been hidden. They invite us to release what no longer is needed, so we can set fresh intentions, and they're revealing what needs to change. They are helping us reset and realign. And this partial solar new eclipse in Virgo is actually happening with the South Node, and South Node is very karmic. It's all about the release, actually. So, new moons, they are seeding new beginnings, and today we are going to seed some new beginnings, but it is with the South Node. So, it's not about adding more, it's more about clearing the karmic baggage. And it is a very karmic eclipse because it is opposing the planet Saturn, which itself is in retrograde motion in Pisces. So it carries very heavy karmic load of cleansing multiple areas in our life. And so old habits, our perfectionism, unhealthy work service patterns, self-criticism, all of this energy has been coming to the surface already because we have been feeling the tension for a while. And the seeds that we are planting during this eclipse will go strongest, grow strongest if they're rooted in release. So think of it like releasing the clutter, letting go of the clutter, letting go of the toxic routines, letting go of the service that drains you rather than nourishes you, because it is with the South Node. So powerful times. We had the new moon at 0 degrees in Virgo in the late August. We had Pisces eclipse, lunar eclipse at the beginning of the month. Now we are having again new moon in Virgo. So we have two new moons in the same sign, which is, which is not so often. And Virgo archetype and the Virgo energy is being very highlighted. And we all have a Virgo somewhere in our charts. And if you have been feeling very tired and exhausted, this is the Virgo season, this is the eclipse season, we are really feeling it. And all of the energies that are rising to be released are not new energies. We have been working with those energies for a while. It is the final cleanup. And if you have been feeling, so certain events can happen a little bit prior to the exact eclipse date, or they can unfold to the next 6 to 12 months. So we will carry this energy of the new eclipse for the next 6 to 12 months. So it is very, very important to refine our thoughts, to be very mindful of our thoughts and what we are doing and what we are seeding, because the eclipse is opposing Saturn, and Saturn is a planet of manifestation. So we should be very mindful how we are using this energy. It is very potent. But let's dive deep into the rest of the webinar. So I have my notes because I tend to wander off in talking. Okay, so I'm just going to mention briefly a little bit about the Virgo and about the cards, and then we are going to dive a little bit deeper. So Virgo, the sign of a Virgo, why we are speaking, why we are having this webinar is because of the eclipses, but we are also in the Virgo seasons. Planets are in the sign of Virgo, so the season of Virgo is very highlighted. Esoteric teachings are associating the astrological sign of a Virgo to the Hermit card in Tarot, number 9. So the number associated to the Hermit card is number 9, and September is the Virgo sign. The Virgo month is the 9th month of the year. So it is refinement, attainment, fulfillment, endings, testing before the final endings are coming through. So the Virgo teaches us true mastery is built through patience, through practice, through refinement. And Tarot gives us the perfect guides for this eclipse. So the Hermit, as the archetype of a Virgo's wisdom, he's inviting us to pause and reflect. The 8, 9, and 10 of Pentacles in Virgo are describing a process of apprenticeships, of skill, of harvest, and of legacy. And the Knight of Pentacles in Tarot is associated to Virgo. And he embodies like the Virgo's steady devotion in action, and not only devotion in action, but he's embodying the act of service and doing things to improve in service. And the Virgo energy is very practical, analytical, service oriented, do the work, tend the details, improve the process. So when eclipse happens in Virgo, the sign of service, of healing, of discernment, we are all called to slow down, to observe the details, and to lovingly refine our lives. It's like the universe is like holding a magnifying glass and asking you what needs refinement. What can we bring to heal? What can we bring into order? So how we are going to bridge all of that, tarot and astrology? Well, the hermit represents an archetype of a wise sage. He embodies self-sufficiency, deep connection to nature, and retreat from the distraction of ordinary life to find clarity, to find the truth. So he seeks solitude in search of inner wisdom, knowledge, self-discovery. He often serves as a guide or mentor to others. And hermit encourages introspection, contemplation, patience, and commitment to one's own path so you can gain deeper insight. So he teaches us that the real change, the real enlightenment, holding that lantern, often begins in solitude, in those quiet moments. And prior to the eclipse, and we are in the in between of the eclipses, so today is the eclipse, but you have been feeling, most of us have been feeling very tired, exhausted, having a real need to retreat, to process things, and give yourself that time and space. So the hermit invites you to take pause, to reflect, to contemplate, right? Um, and the Virgo sign, astrological sign, is all about, quiet mastery, the sign of the apprentice. I already mentioned the healer, one who finds meaning into details. And the hermit really pays attention to details. And his lantern, when it shines a light, it doesn't shine a light to, I don't know, vast area in front of you. It shines a light to a very narrow part, step or two in front of you. So this is wisdom that is guiding you step by step, asking you patience, asking you to give time to reflection for the wisdom to emerge. Virgo sign in astrology. So Virgo is an earth sign, which means it deals with practical, grounded, bodily, realistic things in life. It deals with, like I said, material reality, our tangible reality, what we can see, feel, touch with our five senses. And it is a mutable sign. So, what does this mean, mutable? It means that it is flexible, that it is adaptable, that it is changeable, that it is always adjusting, it is being flexible. And mutable signs, they're all in between the seasons. So, Virgo, summer is ending, autumn will start, and this is the season in between where the nature itself adjusts to the climate change. We are adjusting to the ending of one season, starting to new. So the Virgo sign refines and adapts in that change. Planet in astrology, we have planets that are ruling every sign. So the sign of Virgo is ruled by Mercury, the trickster, the Hermes, the god Hermes. But Mercury is, not just clever speech here. It really feels good. It is exalted in the sign of Virgo, which means it has whatever he has and needs to express his best self. He finds this in the sign of Virgo. So he can utilize his own skills the best through the filter of a Virgo. And the planet Mercury is, he's a scribe in Virgo, the analyst, the physician, the one who notices details. The planet Mercury is all about communication, thinking processes, learning processes, gathering information, discriminating information in the sign of Virgo. And it rules also the sign of Gemini. But in Gemini, it just gathers information. It just pulls random information and can pull it in like coherent whole. But in Virgo, it discriminates, discerns, categorizes, systemizes. It has a very, very systematic modus operandi, how he operates, how the planet Mercury is operating in the sign of Virgo. It's very narrow, specialized. And Virgo is a sign that is very well known for having an eye for details. And Mercury there can really gather an enormous, in the sign of Virgo, can gather an enormous amount of information and database that Virgo systemizes, refines, and systemizes for the optimal use in problem solving. Let's say in practical problem solving. So like I said, the sign of Virgo is known for its analytical, detailed oriented nature. It is the sign of service, healing, and practicality. And while Virgo's critical thinking and attention to details are really strengths, these are really strengths, they can also lead to self-doubt and perfectionism, needing to balance between self-improvement and compassion. At its best, Virgo teaches us how to transform the nitpicking into practical problem solving. And the Virgo's essence is of service, you know. I mentioned refinement 1,000 times and ultimately healing. So the Virgos have a very difficult task. They're ruling the people that are like the outcast of the society. They rule small animals, but they also rule people who are victimized, who are suffering. And there's an interesting sentence that one of my teachers, Astrology, said. She said that it is said that angels fear to go where a sign of a Virgo can go, because they have an innate need to help and improve and fix. And they have such an eye for detail, which is beautiful because they are here to really fix everything, and they can see everything, and they can see flaws. And this is why Virgos are stigmatized as being overly critical, seeing only the bad stuff. But this is their service to humanity, to seeing the faults and learning to find a way to fix it so they can help you, you know, help heal humanity. And this is amazing and very, very tough job for the sign of a Virgo. Because thanks to this ability for and having an eye for a lot of details, they can really put focus, time, patience to reflect and to find, to research, so they can find ways to improve and practical ways how to implement what you need to heal, you know, in every part of our lives, our physical material lives. So Virgo is dissolving the ego of the sign before, of the sign of Leo, you know, and it dissolves the ego. And by dissolving the ego, it meets with a very difficult suffering. And like I said, the sign of a Virgo is ruling the outcast, the underdog, the people who are on the margin of the society, the addicts, the people who are in lack of resources, in difficult life conditions. Virgo, the sign of a Virgo, is the sign of a worker, of workforce, who is in servitude. And the opposite sign of Pisces is the sign of unemployment, by the way. But this axis, Virgo Pisces axis, has a very difficult task, and they have a task of healing. And then Virgo heals through practical ways, and Pisces heals through mystical experience. And there these both signs, Virgo and Pisces. Why am I talking about it? Because they are like on the opposite polarities, and we all have them somewhere in our chart, and we need to learn to balance them out so we can use both sides, you know, the most efficiently. So Virgo is like perfect diagnostic through facts, and Pisces, a perfect diagnostic through intuition. And when you combine this energy, when you learn to find yourself in a halfway between those two archetypes, there is like a perfect balance of uniting those energies, even though they are at opposite polarities. So during this eclipse, Virgo energy isn't just about organizing of details, isn't about nitpicking, isn't about criticizing, self-doubt. Virgos are very prone to worry, to anxiety, because they're ruled by by Mercury, so they're very in their heads. It is the season of the harvest. It is, Virgo is the humble servant, the one who knows how to turn chaos into order. And this is what somebody with a like very accentuated energy of Virgo brings to the world: order from chaos. But when the energies of Virgo are challenged, they become very overwhelmed because they have such a refined eye for detail. They notice everything, and they're so flooded with information because they constantly want to improve, find things to improve, to fix, to analyze. And there is a lot of anxiety, there is a lot of mental anguish, there is a lot of mental worry. So they are prone to quick fixes to alleviate the worry, to alleviate the mind. So it's not unusual for Virgos to, step into addictive behaviors, into addictions, into the state of lack, into the state of suffering, or to be a witness of those matter, of victimizations, of suffering, of debt. Virgo rules debt, of people who are not having money, who have to work really hard and being really hard in the service while taking care of their physical vehicle in very difficult conditions. So they go through this suffering, they go through these experiences, so they go through experience of imbalance. So Virgo is excellent sign of spotting where is the imbalance, to point it out and to fix it, and demand you to fix it by repetition. Repetition makes things perfect. So they are excellent teachers. They are excellent teachers. But they go through this phase of suffering that humbles Virgo. Virgo is a very humble sign. And you can see this in the card of the Hermit. Hermit, as a wise sage, he is the epitome of humbleness. So the suffering humbles them down, and they're not here to shine their light on themselves. They like to work behind the scenes, and they need to go through this process of descending, going underground, to go through the witnessing of victimization, of different kind of addictions, of lack, of hard work, of even the sickness, because Virgo rules the gut. I'm going to tell about that a little bit later. So it is very prone to different kind of sicknesses. So they have to go through this process so they can learn as much as they can, so they can research and find the remedies to heal themselves and to heal others. And with time, they really become true masters in it. So when you're surrounded by very heavy Virgo, and if they are criticizing you, be grateful, because you have somebody who sees how you can improve your life. So every sign in astrology, every tarot card in tarot has light and shadow side. So of course, you know, Virgo tends, when it operates from this place of insecurity, it can go to more of a shadow side of self-doubt, of being overly criticizing towards themselves, towards others. They can be really harsh to themselves, but they can be really harsh to others too. But with time, when they accept that, when they realize that this eye for, for seeing the flaws means that they can learn how to fix them, is their best strength. And this is why I think that the perfectionism is a symptom of being a Virgo. They just have an eye for details. They simply see the imbalances because they are built to find remedies for them, and this is why this leads to perfectionism. They want things to be perfect. They want not perfect, optimized, optimized. So, Virgo in this eclipse is asking us to reflect on what is truly useful. Where can you focus your attention for refinement? What are you ready to release? And what are you ready to commit to mastering? Because the Virgo is the sign of the apprentice of skills. So they can really focus and specialize in very specific, like data analysis, or a lot of Mercury in Virgos can be doctors specializing in a very narrow field, and they can excel. Virgo has the biggest database of information of all of the signs of zodiac, and they can just pull perfectly whatever you need, what is most useful that can help you heal. So, how does this relate to the Hermit card? Well, the Hermit, like I said, he's the seeker, he's the wise elder. He seeks solitude to contemplate, to reflect. And I forgot to tell you that Virgo is an earth sign, which means it is a feminine side, a sign, which means it needs to pause and reflect. It is very receptive sign. So we are in the process of reflecting, contemplating, but also receiving energies, beautiful light codes from the universe that are helping us align us with new beginnings in our lives. So the Hermit in Tarot, he's the one who walks the path alone, right? Not for isolation, but for need of clarity and attaining wisdom and self-knowledge. He holds the lantern not just for himself, but for the next traveler, where he can teach him and show him if the next traveler is interested in that path of self-discovery. And he's humble. He turns inward. He's dedicated to self-awareness, to journey of self-discovery. And I'm just gonna show you. I'm gonna share my screen. Just 1 second. Just let me. Here I am. Share. Share. Okay. Okay. I think. No. I'm gonna stop sharing now because nope, this is not what I wanted to share. Okay, guys, I have a little. Stop sharing. It's been a crazy day today. I also feel really tired, and I don't know, do you feel tired? And how do you feel? Please share in the comments. How have you been feeling in the weeks prior to this new eclipse? How have you been feeling August, whole September? Have you had any experiences of shakeups, of deep releases, of deep, detoxifying of your life? Share. I would love to know. It's been crazy. And these are not new energies, guys. These are energies that we are already familiar with, but they are only here to, they are here so we can make the final cleanse. I know I said that for 1,000 times, but I mean it. I mean it. Okay, guys, just 1 second till I find what I need to show you. Okay. And let's share the screen. I hope yes, you are seeing now this. Perfect. So here you can see on the right, you can see the Hermit card. You can see this wise sage standing on the top of a mountain, holding a staff and holding a lantern, shining a light for himself and from the next seeker. So in the Rider-Waite tarot, the color gray is related to wisdom. So he is covered in this cloak of gray color, which represents wisdom. There is a great card because I mentioned how Virgo, how my one of my teachers, Astrology, says that Virgo goes where angels are scared to go. And this reminded me of one of my favorite tarot decks created by M.M. Malin, but I forgot the name. I cannot remember the name. And I love the Hermit card because it is depicted a little bit differently than most of cards. So I'm just gonna stop sharing and show you the card. Oh, I don't know if you will see it. Yes. So she is presenting the hermit going down, descending into the cave, right? Isolating himself from the distractions of the ordinary life, but he needs to go through the suffering. He needs to know the suffering. He needs to know and understand the lack. And the hermit in history, the people who were hermits, they deliberately uh, disowned of physical distractions, and they went to be alone so they can meet their true self. And here you can see the hermit, but here it is the color, burgundy color, the color of wisdom, and with his lantern shines the way going into the darkness. So he is going to collect the wisdom, collect the experiences. He is going to find a way to heal. So, and then when he comes out, he's going to teach and distribute this learning with others. Here you can see this three-headed dog. I forgot the name of that dog from the underworld, so please, if you know, write in the comments. And they're like a reminder that through what he needs to go through the underground. And the planet Mercury is related to the Hermit card. And Mercury, the Hermit, he was the god who could fly between the realms from the heavens into the world of the regular people and into the underground. So he could go and communicate with all levels of existence and energy and gods and humans and demons and so on and so forth. So I think this is very interesting, and this is very aligned with this side of the Virgo that needs to go to, that escapes to addiction and escapes to addiction, to elevate, to ease up the mind, and then to learn how to heal from it. Okay, let's share. Okay, share, and here we are. Here we are. I'm just gonna adjust. I'm not sure if you're seeing the tool at the bottom. I hope you're not seeing that. So here you can see on the top the Hermit, the 9. The number 9 is related to attainment, amplification, fulfillment, final testing before completely ending the cycle. It's like you have worked from 1 to 8, and then in the 9 you are refining everything for final distribution, the final ending, the final attainment also, depending. And here below the Hermit you can see the 3 cards of the suit of Pentacles, 8, 9, and 10 of Pentacles. And the sign of Virgo is connected to all 3 cards. So the wisdom of the Hermit, the lesson of the Hermit is, retreat, contemplate, find the solutions, you know, take a pause, take a break, and learn, learn, illuminate those subconscious forces inside of you, because you want to self-discover, you want to be on that path of the self-discovery. And in the minor arcana, you can see the process, which is apprenticeship in the Eight of Pentacles, fulfillment and attainment and the harvest in the Nine of Pentacles, and communal legacy in the Ten of Pentacles. So you can see these processes. And we have another card that I don't have here, and it is the Knight of Pentacles. The Knight of Pentacles is also associated to the sign of Virgo. And the Knights are related to so the Knight of Pentacles is related to element of earth, but they are driven by fire, by action. They are action oriented. And the Knight of Pentacles is action oriented towards service, toward material, earthy side of life, to be of service. So the Knight of Pentacles actually embodies the processes of the 8, 9, and 10 of Pentacles. And also I wanted to tell you why 8, 9, and 10 of Pentacles. So in Minor Arcana, we have 4 suits, which are Wands, Cups, Swords, and Pentacles. And all 4 suits are related to 4 elements. Wands are related to fire, Cups are related to water, Swords are related to air, and Pentacles are related to earth, earthly, tangible, material, safety, and reality, work, health, money, resources. And number 1 are aces. Aces of each suit are like the pure potential, the beginning, the pure spark in every suit. And then we are left with numbers from 2 till 10. And those from 2 till 10, they are divided in sets of 3. So this is how we are relating things to astrology. First, when you're reading a tarot, you can read any tarot deck by simply using numerology to define at what stage and cycle is happening. And with the element, it shows you where it is happening. So cups, it shows you that it is happening in relationships related to your emotions, your feelings, your imagination, your creativity. So air swords are showing you it is happening in the mental realms, in your thinking, communication, structured plans, and so on. So numbers are stages. Like imagine it like, chapters in a book building till the end. And suits are showing you where things are happening. And then we can add a whole new layer with astrology that shows you like the weather, additional weather, additional details, what is going on. So I started to tell you, so every twos, threes, and fours of each suit in Minor Arcana are related to cardinal signs in astrology. And cardinal signs are all about taking action. So with the 2, 3, and 4s, you are taking action, right? And these are the cardinal signs of Libra connected to swords and air, Capricorn related to earth and pentacles, Aries related to fire and wands, Libra, I think I mentioned Libra, and Cancer related to cups and water. So these are the cardinal signs. Then every number 5, 6, and 7 in the suit of Minor Arcana are connected to fixed signs. And fixed signs are all about preserving and stabilizing and maintaining and maintaining. And the fixed signs are in fire, and in wands, it's Leo. In water, it is Scorpio. In cups, it is Scorpio. In swords, air, it is, let me remember, it's Aquarius. It's a fixed sign. And we are left with Earth. The fixed sign is Taurus. So every 5, 6, and 7 is a stage relating to a fixed sign of the element. And then we come to the end, 8, 9, and 10. 8, 9, and 10 are related to mutable signs. They are refining, they're adapting, they are being flexible, they are adjusting everything before new cardinal sign can start. And these are Virgo, so mutable sign for Pentacles, and the earth sign is Virgo. Mutable sign for Wands and fire is Sagittarius. Mutable sign for water and cups is Pisces. And mutable sign for air, yes, air is Gemini. So this is how you can build your story, build the details around the story. So we spent quite a lot of webinar talking about the Virgo traits. And now when we are looking at these cards, I'm just gonna share the slide here, not that here. 8, 9, and 10. So here we have the 8 of Pentacles. Oh, sorry guys. Sorry, I have a little issue. Here I cannot go back. Sorry. Okay, let's see if I can. Yes. Here we are. So here we have the 8 of Pentacles, and number 8 is all about, so how we are reading a tarot. Number 8 is all about mastery, discipline, structure, repetition, manifestation, mastery of the mind. And Pentacles, the suit of Pentacles, is all about material security, about work, health routines, about 5 senses of the body. And this is something that we already see in the middle card, 8 of Pentacles. You can see a man working diligently, refining the details, doing the heavy repetitive work, because you see all those pentacles lined up. So you can see that he's doing repetitive things with his hands. He's working hard, and probably long hours. And you can see that he has mastery, and he needs discipline, and he needs structure and repetition to make something so refined and perfect and to manifest this. So when I say perfect, refined, skill, time, this is something that we can also relate to the sign of Virgo. And we know that the sign of a Virgo is the sign of the apprenticeship, of refining skills, of repetition, of discerning what is good, what is right, of paying attention to details, and we look at this card and we can add this signification of Virgo to the image that we are seeing. And we can go now a step further. So every card in Minor Arcana is connected to a planet. And we say that this planet rules a certain decan of the sign. So every sign has 30 degrees, and those 30 degrees are divided in 3 times 10s. So Virgo has 0 to 30 degrees. So first 10 degrees is the first decan. Then the second 10 degrees are second decan, and the last 10 degrees are the third decan. So the first decan is the 8 of Pentacles. The second decan is 9 of Pentacles. The third decan is the 10 of Pentacles. So when we say that the planets are assigned, so in esoteric teaching, the sun is assigned to the 8 of Pentacles. So we say that the sun rules the first decan of Virgo. So we already know that 8, 9, and 10 of Pentacles are related to the sign of Virgo, and we can add and throw all this signification of the sign of Virgo. But now we go deeper and we say sun. Sun is associated, luminary sun is associated with 8 of Pentacles. So what is sun? Sun is joy. Sun is vitality. Sun is what makes you feel truly happy and fulfilled. Sun is also it represents authority in astrology. And in the sign of a Virgo, in the sign of humble service, of refinement, of knowledge, of retreat, of contemplation. We can say that by doing repetitive work, you are experiencing joy. This brings you joy. Or we can, what is the sun? Sun is illumination. So sun illuminates the service of hard, diligent, repetitive work you need to do to feel fulfilled, right? And every card has a shadow and a light side, of course. So here you can see somebody who is doing his work, feeling content, being very focused and concentrate, on doing the same job. But what if these cards comes up reversed, and then this energy of really doing the work with joy and being of service is a little bit blocked. So maybe you feel stuck. You do not want to do certain things, and you don't find joy anymore. It doesn't provide you the joy to doing the same repetitive work. It maybe you feel stuck, it feels boring, or you are so overly critical and uh, you know, trying to perfect things that it is bringing you anguish, anxiety, and it slows you down, and it it makes you feel that you are procrastinating. And these are all beautiful messages that are coming from an astrological layers. And we always come back to the number and the element. So if all of this is happening in the card, the lesson of the card is number 8. It is time to use discipline, use structure to find joy in repetitive work and service to other through time, because earth, the pentacles, they represent practical work through time and perseverance. You are going to master and receive rewards and manifest what you were trying to do. Manifest that material security, manifest that work project ending or rewards. You know, we are talking about, we know that Virgo is related. I forgot to tell you that Virgo rules the gut, where we like, where our bodies discriminating nutrients, and it is like separating which nutrients go where and how to absorb. And we all know that our mental health is connected to healthy gut. And this is why Virgo is very sensitive. So Virgo rules gut, it rules intestine. I think that's the correct word. So Virgo is very susceptible, very sensitive to stress, and it needs to purify, it needs to detox. And any advice for Virgo out there who are feeling mentally overwhelmed, a lot of anxiety, a lot of worry, a lot of repeating loops about perfectionism and self-doubt, just start eating cleaner. Purify your gut, clean your gut with healthy food, with the detoxifying, with cleansing, and this will clear your mind. So with the healthy gut, you have a healthy mind. So this is very important, and this is another layer that you can add to this reading. So it's, pentacles are also related to health, and now so you're procrastinating, you're stressing out, right? Your health could be suffering. So you need structure, you need discipline, you need to master your health routines to optimize your health, to improve your mental state, to improve your physical health, that will in turn improve your mental health and give you more energy to do the repetitive work that is needed to be done, to manifest, to master. So 8 of Pentacles is the card of apprenticeship. So this is the process of apprenticeship. You can see the skills, refining skills. And I will repeat. So the best way to read any cards is first the number that determines the stage where you are. So this is the ending. So we are at the ending of the minor arcana ending cards. So this is the ending stage, finishing line. So the process or finish of finishing certain stuff that you are dealing with. And first you watch the number 8. Then you watch the suit, and it is the suit of Pentacles, which means it is related to the element of earth. And what does this mean for you? Element of earth. And then you go a little bit deeper, okay? So what is being illuminated in your life right now? You know, what kind of service are you called to do? What kind of skills are you called to refine? What narrow, you can see how he's like having his hammer, and I don't know how you call in English. So he's really paying attention to details, and he needs to be very, very crafty. It's a card of craftsman. You need to be very crafty to do this good work. So you are mastering this. So he is mastering this. And number 8 wants you to master the lesson of this card. So imagine what all the shadow of the reverse card could bring to the table, you know, with in regards to the number, in regards to the suit, in regards to the astrology that we have mentioned right now. So Sun in Virgo, or Sun ruling the first decan of Virgo. And here in the middle, you can see the Rider-Waite card. This is like the typical, the most famous, the most distributed deck, and all the variation connected to this deck we mostly have in today's shops. But on the left side, you can see the French school of tarot. You can see the Marseille deck, and you can see it is very pippish. And it is the Eight of Pentacles. And on the right side, you can see the Thought tarot deck. So this is more esoteric deck, because you can see it is still pippish, but you can also see the astrological glyphs related to the card. So on top, just below the number, you can see the circle with a dot. This is a glyph for the illuminary sun in astrology. And here it's not very well seen, but you can see the glyph of the sign of Virgo, which below the card, I put those symbols here. Sun, the symbol for the sun, and the symbol for Virgo. So guys, I'm telling you here such a narrow information, because I could really speak about one card for 1 hour. I could speak about one sign for 1 hour, but we just don't have the time. And I think we are already, a lot of time has passed already. So let's go to the next card. Let's stay a little bit with this card. So why are we speaking about the Eight of Pentacles? How can we work with the Eight of Pentacles in this solar eclipse, in this eclipse season? How can we meditate, and can we work with the energy of the eclipse season using the Eight of Pentacles? So you can take your journal out. You can take a look of this card or any other that I showed you. And you can ask yourself, what skill or daily practice do I need to dedicate myself to right now? Because Virgo is all about, refining routines. How can I show up for my craft, my health, or my community with a devotion, even in small ways? Okay. What I would add here also, what attention to details maybe I need to let go of? And, and leave space for something that is not draining me, but nourishes me. For what skills I can leave space for that are nourishing and not draining. Okay, let us see the Nine of Pentacles. So here we can see in the middle is the Rider-Waite card, Nine of Pentacles, and here you can see it's different tone. Here we have a lady in the picture that is very proud, very richly, ornamented gown. She's being placed in the middle of the very lush garden, holding a bird on her head, on her hand. So All of those symbols have meanings, but I'm not going to go into it. First, I'm going to mention the number 9. Attainment, wisdom, preparation for ending, final testing. This is the meaning of the number 9. In the suit of pentacles, in the material realms, practical life. It also means like attainment. So, you know, in the Eight of Pentacles, somebody was working very diligently. Somebody was working really, really hard. And now in the card 9, we can see the fruits of that labor. So this is the card of harvest. This is the card of material fulfillment. Let's go further. Venus rules the second decan of Virgo. So the planet Venus is connected to this card in the sign of a Virgo. So we can see the Venus represents beauty, it represents luxury, it represents arts, it represents resource, it represents money, currency, it represents pleasures of physical life, right? It represents relationships. And astrologically, Venus doesn't feel very good in the sign of Virgo. So she is in her fall here, the Venus, which means she cannot express herself at its best. But in this card, we can see that this person is surrounded with lush, with the fruits of her labor. But you can see her face looks a little bit lonely. So she put a lot of work and she's independent and she likes to be independent. But there is also certain sadness, which means that, maybe she is not able to share that with other people. Maybe she is enjoying all the harvest alone. And maybe she needs to learn to open up a little bit to other people, to share her knowledge of how to cultivate such a large garden with other people. This is something maybe that she needs to learn. And it's the number 9. So, acquiring wisdom of cultivating this garden and sharing it with others. But she's alone in this card, and she's holding, you can see on the left side, there are like six pentacles. On the other side, there are 3 pentacles. There is meaning in that. So we can see this is the process of harvest. And this is how Virgo archetype is speaking through this card. But every card has its shadow and light side. So in the optimal light side of this card, she has attained wisdom of cultivation in practical daily, work, material, work, body, health routines. And now she's having the wisdom to harvest, to gather her fruits of labor. But there is a little snail. I don't know if you can see. There is a little snail here, which means it took a lot of time for her to get there. The number 9 is also endings, guys. It is end, it is end. So she has reached the end of working, of cultivating, and now it's time to share it with others. But she's not yet ready to share with others. So Venus in Virgo is not feeling good. She can be overly critical in relationships. She can have a lot of self-doubt. She can have a lot of issues with the way she looks. So she can overcompensate with this beautiful gown and garments and with showing all of these flashy pentacles to really deflect from the deep insecurity that she feels, even though she is in the middle of her lush, beautiful, and rich garden. So number 9 teaches us about the wisdom, right? Preparation for the ending. Now it's time for her to share this knowledge with others, but she still cannot do this in this card. But she has created the stability. So number 9 is 3 times number 3. So she has a really solid foundation and she's harvesting her hard work which is very positive. But in terms of relationships and pleasure in life, she could have a little bit more issues with that. And how can you know that? Because Venus is associated to this sign, Venus in Virgo, Venus ruling the second decan of Virgo. And we know in astrology that Venus does not feel good in the sign of Virgo. She cannot express her pleasures, her desires for beauty in a way that she is designed to. But also, it means that the the beauty, the eye for beauty is very refined. It's very refined and it's very practical, and it is in practical things. So, approach to relationships can be very practical, to pleasures can be very practical, to spending money can be very practical. Venus is also money. It can be very practical. But ultimately, this card describes the process of harvest. And on the right side, you can see the thought card here. You can see under the number 9, you can see the glyph of Venus. And here on the bottom, you can see the glyph of Virgo. So how can we use the energy of this card when you are looking at this card? Take a pause, take a deep breath, and look at this card and see what you feel. And let's journal. Let's journal with this eclipse, with the energies of this eclipse. How are these energies going, how they are being reflected through this card? So what have I already accomplished that deserves to be celebrated? How can I honor my growth and give thanks for the harvest, no matter how humble? Okay, let's go further. Let's go to the Ten of Pentacles. Here we have reached the culmination. Here in the number 10, one cycle has ended and there is a seed for a new beginning. And this is the end of the suit. So this is the culmination, the overflow of the suit, of the energy. There is like an overflow that can be good or it can be bad. So number 10 is about completion, culmination. It's about inheritance, the threshold for a new cycle. But, having abundance of the element in the card, abundance of pentacles in the card, and you can see how the pentacles are arranged. They're arranged in the form of the tree of life. So there is a lot of Kabbalistic esoteric meanings and teachings embedded in the tarot cards, especially in this card, like you can see. And maybe we can even see our hermit here as an old man looking at the young couple, a little child playing with dogs. So this is very interesting. So this is the process of, this is the legacy. This is the legacy. This is where the hermit share his wisdom with others in this card. And because it's a minor arcana, what he shares are pentacles. So he shares his material resources, his wisdom, his legacy, everything that he have attained, learned. He shares this with the family. So this is the card of legacy, the ancestral lineage of full completion in the material world. On the left side, you can see 10 of Pentacles, and on the Marseille deck on the left side, and on the right side, you can see the Thoth. Sorry, guys, I'm not. My English is not native English. Thoth card here. You can see how the pentacles are arranged. You can see certain glyph. You can see the glyph for Mercury just below the number 10, and you can see the glyph for Virgo, and it is written wealth. So I forgot to tell you, if we go back, it really annoys me. I cannot go back. Okay. So in Thoth cards, every card has a name, and this one has wealth. So this is the legacy of Pentacles. This is money. This is family money. This is you, having and distributing family money, or you are benefiting from family money here. And the planet that is associated to this card is planet Mercury. And the Mercury is a planet of communication, of marketing, of sales, of learning, of teaching, of social media, of currency exchange. It's Mercury is a sign of marketers, in the sign of a Virgo. And do you remember from the beginning we said that the Mercury is exalted in the sign of Virgo, and Mercury is ruling the last sign of Virgo. So how can we apply another meaning here? So here is like the culmination of attainment of material goods, right? Earth, Pentacles, in the number 10. And Mercury, like I said, is distribution of that wisdom. It's like also being in service of other people by distributing your physical attainment, your wisdom, your knowledge, your what you have earned, your resources. And there is a lot of things to say. So imagine what would be the shadow side of this card. Mercury is related to worry, to communication, to the mind, how the mind works. Virgo tends to overthink, to be very worried, to have a lot of anxieties, which in turn can influence the health. So we could say worry about the money, right? Not being able to share, to communicate, to give, not being able to invest in practical steps, being prevented, having a lot of anxiety, having a lot of worry, not being supported by family, not being supported, not having lack of resources could also be showed here. So there are a lot of layers that you can add here. So let's see how we can journal about this card, with this card, what we can learn and work with this card. How can I create a lasting foundation for myself, my family, or my community? So this is the communal card. Where can my service and wisdom make a difference for the collective? So I said that the Hermit is sharing his wisdom in the Ten of Pentacles, and he's sharing practical resources because we are in the suit of Pentacles. Here I just wanted to show you the card of Hermit in all three decks. On the left you can see the Marseille, in the middle Rider-Waite, and on the right the Thoth deck. So I'm just gonna stop sharing, guys. Okay, just 1 second. I'm gonna stop sharing. And I just wanted to recap a little bit because maybe this sounded a little bit confusing, but I'm just gonna recap a little bit. So first, how you read tarot is by looking at the numbers. Numbers are showing you the stage of development. Then you're looking at the suit, where things are happening, cups, relationships, pentacles, material resources, wands, your will drive, your passion, your spiritual resources. It's also related to work, your sex drive, adventure, air, the swords, in mental realms, in communication with other people, in sharing ideas, sharing thoughts. And let's go back to the Eight of Pentacles. Do you remember I told you that Eight of Pentacles is the card of the apprentice? It is the one who shows up day after day, not chasing perfection, but loving the process, but can get lost in perfection. And I said it is Sun in Virgo, and it is the light that comes from devotion to work. So you can ask another question. You can take your journal and you can ask another questions. What are you willing to practice? Not for applause, but for the beauty of getting better. Where can daily ritual bring more magic in your life? Nine of Pentacles is the process of harvest. So here, you do remember the lady in the garden. Here we met independence and self-worth, the garden in bloom. 9 is the number of fulfillment. Venus in Virgo is beauty earned through effort, comfort that's been lovingly created, but there is a shadow side to each card, so it depends how it shows. So if certain cards trigger something in you, pay attention to that, write it down, and see how it relates to the information I have given you. So you can pause and ask yourself, looking at the Nine of Pentacles, you can take the Nine of Pentacles and you can look and ask yourself, where can you pause to enjoy what you have built? If you have been lost in perfectionism, if you have been lost in service, where can you pause to enjoy what you have built? Are you allowing yourself to savor your own growth? Or do you keep moving, to the next goalpost? Self-love isn't vanity, it is gratitude. So allow yourself the gratitude for your own harvest and allow yourself a moment to enjoy it. 10 of Pentacles is a card connected to legacy, and 10 is the cycle that is ending. We said the 9 is ending, but it's the cycle where it culminates. Everything comes to a culmination and a new threshold, because something is ending and something new is beginning. Here we have seen an old man, probably the Hermit, that became the teacher to the family lineage. And the sign we mentioned that to the 10 of Pentacles, Mercury is assigned. The planet Mercury in Virgo means order, sharing wisdom, planning what will last. And you can ask yourself, you can take a look at the 10 of Pentacles and you can ask yourself, what legacy are you creating? Not just in money, but in values, in stories, in skills. What are the structures and the rituals or gift that you want to pass on to your loved ones or to the community? This is also related to 10 of Pentacles, the community. And remember that the greatest wealth is not what we hoard, but what we share. In the 10 of Pentacles, we share. Okay. I also wanted, so guys, I'm just going through my notes to see if I maybe missed something. Okay. So I already mentioned that 8 of Pentacles, Sun in Virgo, apprentice energy, skill through repetition, shadow side is perfectionism or monotony. 9 of Pentacles of Venus in Virgo means independence, beauty, enjoying the harvest, but the shadow is isolation or over control. 10 of Pentacles is Mercury in Virgo. It represents legacy, family, stability, but the shadow side is rigidity, fear of change. So these 3 cards show the Virgo's full cycle: practice, abundance, and legacy. We have another card that I forgot to put in in this slide, and it's a Knight of Pentacles. So he embodies the Virgo in action. So the Knight of Pentacles is the only knight from all of the suits that is presented on a horse that is not moving, that is standing still. So he is very methodical, responsive, duty-driven. The only knight that doesn't rush. He sits on his horse grounded, surveying the field. You can Google the card and you can take a look at it. So he represents persistence, patience, and steady devotion. But the shadow side is stagnation, fear of risk, stubbornness, overworking, burning with a workaholic that burns too much, right? And the lesson, if you are working with Knight of Pentacles and the Eclipse energy, the lesson is apply refinement step by step, even when progress feels slow. And what matters is not speed, but consistency. Okay, let me see. What else? So guys, I'm really sorry because there are so many things to say, so I'm just scrolling through my notes here. So I just hope this kind of gave you enough of information to delve and to understand how astrology can be applied to tarot. How can you incorporate it and read how it gives you more knowledge and expands the knowledge while you are reading tarot. Why we have gone through all of these cards? Because we are in a Virgo season, and today is the Virgo eclipse, and these cards are reflecting and maximizing the messages that this Virgo eclipse is trying to give us in its shadow and in its light. So it's a perfect moment. Like I said, the Hermit invites us to pause and reflect of what needs refining in our lives. Where are we called to serve? It invites us to release old habits. What mental clutter, toxic routines, or self doubt can we let go of? And the new moon is about setting intention for service. Where and using the Eight of Pentacles when you are reflecting on that card, where can your unique skills, your attention to detail make a difference? You know, for example, you can ask yourself while looking at the Eight of Pentacles, the cards, and thinking about Virgo eclipse and what you are feeling and the energies that is being brought up. Like I said, what skill or daily practice do I need to dedicate myself to right now? How can I show up for my craft, my health, or my community with a devotion, even in small ways? You can take a look at the nine of Pentacles, and you can think and journal and look at the card, look at the details, and see how the card can speak to you through the images, through the numbers, through the astrological associations. You can ask yourself, what have I already accomplished that deserves to be celebrated? We mentioned that. How can I honor growth and give thanks for the harvest, no matter how humble? We already mentioned that, right? So only to I'm gonna recap here, and we are going to come to an end. So thank you very much for sticking with me so long. I hope this illuminated a little bit and will illuminate your practice a little bit. So this Virgo solar eclipse is not about chasing impossible perfection. It's about, retreating, pausing, reflecting, um, giving yourself time to process everything. And it's about refinement, progress step by step. It is honoring the wisdom of patience, because things are not going to happen immediately. The Hermit teaches us to hold the lantern for the next step, you know and the Pentacles shows us practice, harvest, and legacy. So trust the process, honor your rhythms. Let the eclipse guide you back into the alignment. Give yourself permission under this eclipse to release what is heavy, to embrace what is unique of your gifts of service, and to really walk gently with yourself and others. Every act of healing you do right now, every moment of self care, every bit of kindness that you show ripples out much farther than you know. And it's going to return to you threefold. It's big karmic cleanse and big process of manifestation. It's a new moon. It is setting new intentions. Use this cards to examine your shadow sides and to set intentions with the messages that they are carrying. And this is it. So thank you for joining me in this eclipse journey through tarot. If this resonated, please like, share, and subscribe to Stellar Tarot Alchemy. If you feel called, share your insights in the chat, in our community space. Reach out if you have questions. Share what your reflections have brought. Share if you have you have light bulb moments relating Virgo to tarot cards. And until we meet again, until the next moon or the next turn of the cards, may your path be clear, your heart be gentle, and your lantern always lit. Blessings and gratitude, guys. And this is a little addition, guys, because I remembered that I haven't showed you the prompts for the Hermit card, the Major Arcana Hermit card, which embodies the Virgo archetype. And I just wanted to tell you to really, during this eclipse, really set a simple ritual. All you need is like a small candle or a lantern that can embody the Hermit card, or even a phone light, which is like a little bit softer. Take a notebook or a piece of paper. You can optionally take your favorite grounding crystal, a small bowl of earth or herbs, and you can find a quiet corner, just like the hermit. You can light your candle as a symbol of hermit's lantern and start writing the beginning, that you want to set your intentions with. Just center and reflect, take a few deep breaths, place your hands on your belly because Virgo rules the gut. Feel the breath moving in and out, grounding you. And you can put the tarot card of the Hermit in front of you, and you can ask and reflect on those questions, writing your answers down. What is one area of my life that needs gentle improvement? What's one habit, thought, or clutter I'm ready to release? Where can I offer humble service in the coming weeks? Choose one tiny practical step, just like the hermit's careful journey, to take in the next week. Write it down and you can say it out loud. By the light of the hermit's lantern, I commit to your chosen goal. I set intention to commit to a certain routine. And then the final step of this little ritual, aligned with the Virgo eclipse and the tarot cards, is release and to close the ritual. You can blow out the candle, imagining old energy clearing away, and thank yourself for showing up with honesty and care. And I'm just gonna share you a slide. Just one second. Share, 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 share. I need to click share like 1,000 times. Okay, so here you can see those questions. You can take a look at it. You can take a look at the hermit. You can just let the cards, the images speak to you, and all the information that you have received, let it spontaneously, intuitively speak to you while writing things down. So these are the questions, right? What is one area of my life that needs gentle improvement? Improvement. What's one habit, thought, or clutter I'm ready to release? Where can I offer humble service in the upcoming weeks? Choose one tiny practical step, just like the hermit's careful journey, to take in the next week. Write it down and you can say it out loud like a little mantra. I'm just repeating things because you can see it now on the screen. By the light of the hermit's lantern, I commit to new routine or goals that you have written down. And then, it's time to release and close the little ritual. Blow out intentionally the candle, imagining old energy clearing away, and thank yourself for showing up with honesty and care. Thank you very much for being here with me. You can find me on Facebook, Stellar Tarot Alchemy. It's a closed group where we can share our experiences, where we can share our readings in regards to Virgo eclipse season, in regards to the journal prompts that we were having through this webinar. You can find me on Instagram, Stellar Tarot Alchemy, and if you are here, you can find me on YouTube. Um, you can also reach out via email. So my email is stellartarotalchemy, monkey@gmail.com. So all of the information you can find in my YouTube below. You can find in the description below. So you can find me on Facebook, Instagram, and even on Patreon, where my plans are to continue with this series and to record not in the middle of the night, but in a proper day where my mind works properly. And my goal is to continue with these webinars monthly, to incorporate the current weather with the tarot cards and astrological associations to those cards that are reflecting the current astro weather. And you can really, deepen your practices with the cards in actual astro weather. You can put it into practical use. Share your experiences and see you next month.